Welcome back to the full group. I hope that was as fun for all of you as it was for me. Just many thanks to Michael and Sam. I'm really eager to hear about some of your takeaways, some of what the conversation, where the conversation went. And so we'll have some time for that. But first, we want to get some polls out. So you just had a chance to really sit with some of these submissions and think about the CCR in some more depth. So the first poll that we want to pull out is, and I think Jesse, if you could go ahead and launch it. So if you see in the chat, there's a link to a poll. You can go ahead and click on that for everyone. So the question here is, do you think implementing these ideas will be A, entirely doable, B, which means utilities and their regulatory counterparts can start implementing these features right away, B, possible, with some guidance and technical assistance, most utilities will be able to implement these features for the next CCR distribution. My dog likes answer B. Or C, challenging, that utilities are just too stressed and overextended to implement these ideas. There just aren't the resources. Give it a little bit more time. It looks like we're very much in the world of the possible here. I'm going to give just another few moments if folks want to get their voice in, and then we'll switch to the next question. All right. Second question. Would you all are sitting at I don't know if everyone can hear my kids. I have a dog who's very loud and two children who are even louder. Would you be interested in working with Water Data Prize winners to implement some of these ideas? A, absolutely. When can we start? B, yes, but maybe next year. Or C, no, this is not going to be a priority for us in the near term. So go ahead and cast your vote. All right, cast your final votes. It looks like either just two people responded or we're actually had a great 50-50 split, which is absolutely when can we start, and yes, but maybe next year. And what's wonderful to hear is that no one thinks that this isn't a priority in the near term. Well, wonderful. What I'm going to do is invite Sam and Michael to bring their voices in. You all put so much hard work into this prize, into this session. Curious, you've obviously had a lot of time to think about this. What were some highlights for you from your conversations, or some key takeaways? And let me start with Michael.
Yeah, thanks, Joya. So we started off our conversations with thinking about the bigger picture. So why do we not have public trust in our public water systems? And we got some really insightful answers from our audience members. It has to do with, for example, the water bottle advertising. So water bottle, if you're paying $50 for something, it must be better quality. And if you're buying something, we believe that it's gone through some rigorous testing standards versus something that we're just getting basically for free, something that we don't even think about almost. Then it comes to the idea of public trust in our institutions. And that's something that's, research shows has been declining for years, and therefore is for water as well. And people also mentioned that in the news organizations, it pays to highlight these big newsworthy events, these Flint, Michigan crises. And so those are the ones that get highlighted, and ones that are community. That's not something that's going to make the news. So there are some reasons to have some skepticism, because the infrastructure has gotten a C-. And so that probably has also sunken into the public consciousness to some degree. But overall, the water quality is good or better than what can be attained from bottled water. And those incidents like Flint, Michigan, they are not the norm. And so for overall public trust in water is something that has been exacerbated in our modern era. And ways that we can improve that are by building trust. And that's something that really takes time. You have to engage the community and on multiple fronts. One participant highlighted some billboards that they had in their community, some tweets in which that got retweeted 1,000 times. And so these are some ways that can be helped to engage the public. And we went over the CCR and how the CCR can and educating. Oh, another one, education, having tours of the treatment plants and showing people what do we do to treat water, and having more programs in schools for children and showing them the water treatment process and teaching them about the safety standards and the rigorous safety standards that we have. So the CCR can fit within that, can play one tool in our toolbox to help improve public perception and build trust. So that was some of the main takeaways from our conversations.
Excellent. Really great report out, Michael. And I know I got half of that with you in my recruit room, and I thought it was a fantastic conversation. I also have to say appreciation for the former teacher and using some of those pedagogical tools. Really impressive. Thank you. Sam, can you share a little bit about some of your takeaways and where there's a lot of energy in your conversations?
Yeah. So I think primarily the big takeaway, and I'll share these with you and Cynthia going forward, was our jam board, where I opened the conversation by asking each group, if you could change the CCR, what would you do? And these ideas were all things that, our team had also thought of, which I think are very simple, low-hanging fruit, things that shouldn't take regulatory change to effect. So more graphics, more color, plain language, infographics, calls to action, and all these things. The good news is they can be done today. They can be done in this year's CCR. So that was our conversation. We had not as much back and forth, I think, as Michael's group, because I wanted to really walk them through what we did, spark what the possibilities could be. We had one comment that I thought was really interesting, which points to kind of that language issue, that technical language issue, which is, a term like non-detect, and I said, because I have read that, non-detect as a term is not something that invokes trust. It scares people, right? Because it's the opposite of what they don't think, oh, there's nothing there. They think you're not finding it. Find it. People want you to find everything. So there's some things there that I think EPA really needs to grapple with, which is terms like that they think are okay that are not. But yeah, overall, I think we're all on the same page about what needs to change, and that's good.
That's great, Sam. And I have to say, I really appreciated the use also of the jam board. I know my colleague Jesse here, we thought about using it and got too nervous. So you have given me confidence and built trust in that tool. So thank you for that. But also got to hear half of that conversation and really appreciated those examples of plain language and just little shifts that I hadn't thought about, but actually just some of that modeling of how you could do this slightly differently actually could have a really profound impact. And I'll just share from that session, one of my personal highlights. I think someone here said, using language that conveys shared ownership over this resource, which is, sort of, this is your water, this is your system. So really appreciated that. Well, if everyone would join me just for a moment to just applause to Michael and Sam. It has been incredible to get to, I honestly, when we launched the Water Data Prize, I didn't know what we were going to get. And we got these just incredible submissions, and just really dedicated leaders who care very deeply about this issue around building trust. So Sam, Michael, thank you so much for your hard work, and for your willingness to really help create and support this community. It's really notable. With that, I just want to give a chance if anyone wants to. We have just a couple minutes, and I'm going to hand it to Izzy to close us out. But any reactions? Is anything that you all feel that either your own takeaways from these conversations, or something that you think that is just really important to flag, either for the winners, for us at Epic as we move forward in this? I just want to. Anyone wants to bring their voice in? I want to give you this opportunity to do so. All right. Well, with that, I see some comments in the chat, and thank you all for using the chat too. It's been really, really helpful, and absolutely agree that the state and federal regulators need help with this, and in addition to engaging utility leaders like yourselves, we're also working with the state and regulatory counterparts. So thank you all so much. I'm going to kick it to Izzy, who's going to close us out and give a preview of some exciting programming on deck.
All right, thanks so much to the team at the Environmental Policy Innovation Center and the Water Data Prize winners for this great session. We are really inspired by their work, and we really look forward to more opportunities to share their ideas with the water utility leaders. And with that, I invite you to stay for US Representative Jared Huffman's keynote coming up next in just a couple minutes here on infrastructure legislation. You will also be presenting the Impact and Emerging Leader Awards, so you don't want to miss this. We've prepared some great videos that are highlighting these leaders and their accomplishments. You can access this next session by clicking on the link in the chat on the Pathable site, or by going to your agenda and navigating to the keynote session. Thank you, and enjoy the rest of your day at Tap into Resilience.